You're right, people. Just thought I'd come back. I know it's midweek, but there's been a couple of trades, slash ones coming up. Obviously, the focus being EU. I've been waiting a while for this one. Obviously, last time I missed it. Unfortunately, I was waiting for the hourly. I am looking to do a slightly aggressive play from this zone because it has swept some liquidity. So, obviously, in my initial videos, I was talking about the hourly chock from these zones, but that's what we've had. We've had a nice hourly chock. We have got this area here that's been unmitigated, and it's also a 4 hour. If you look at it, it's a nice 4 hour chock as well. So there are some 15-minute plays. The only issue is that hourly supply isn't really tapping into the equilibrium of this leg. So there is the issue that it can fly off without us. And not gonna lie, I don't really want that happening again. I do want to actually make some money in this thing instead of just posting videos all day that telling you what to do. But if you look at it from this way, I could set a limit order on this, but it doesn't cover the high, so I would like to wait for some sort of reaction. What is valid from previous experience is a 1 minute from here, but I would not get in with a 1 minute stop. It would just be for extra confirmation, because what I'd like to see, if you look at the stop right now, if I was to do a 30 pip stop, it would not cover the high. And I, believe it or not, I don't think it will go that high, but it is what it is. Whereas if it goes a bit higher here, you see some like liquidity swept here, even you've got a nice high covered, and that is a very nice setup on the 30 pip. Don't really want to be doing 60s here, but it is possible. Just purely because we are so low down on the leg that to do a 60, you got to have 120 pips in it, and it's not really feasible with this kind of momentum. So I am looking to do a minimum of 3R, obviously to catch that. But this is valid right now. That is valid. If you did that, it's fine. You can do that. But I'd like a nice Asia session. It's looking like the Asia session will print some liquidity buy sides kind of here. And then we got a nice sweep up into this order. I'm going to wake up early for once before 7 o'clock. I normally wake up about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and because the amount of times I just look at the open, and unless something's going on, there's just no point. I'm just looking at the charts for no reason. But tomorrow there is cause for me to wake up early, and if there is an aggressive play in an Asia sweep, I'd like to catch the high. So basically, if it hasn't mitigated this zone already, I would like to see. I might even put a trade on there just purely, just for the sweep of the highs to be swept and then it just fly off, because just from experience, that is an aggressive play, and you can add to the confluence. It is a secondary confluence, the Asia sweep, but using it with what we're looking at already, it is valid, and it could do that, and it could sweep off. And at the end of the day, you can sit there waiting for the 1 minute, but we will see what tomorrow comes. We'll see what discretion brings on how I enter the trade. There's a lot of different ways. Alternatively, you can look at it from an hourly perspective and trade this here, and that gets the nice just about 30 pip there, and then you can get a nice 1 to 3. So there's two different ways of playing it. Obviously this is the simple method, but bearing in mind we have even got this range of this order block here. So yeah, that is kind of in the equilibrium of the leg as well. When you look at it, it's an aggressive chock, but it is in premium, so anything from here is valid. But I would like to see some refined plays. It is nice to have the fixed stop loss of 30 pips, and it is nice to work on the hourly time frame. And then this would be the valid trade in my plan. But we do have a bit of a discrepancy in terms of the lower leg, because if this order was a bit higher, you just bang on a 1 hour, easy, it's done, set and forget, move on with your life. But the other issue is, even with that 1 hour, it just covers this high, and tomorrow we have a bit of news around 1 o'clock. If I can't get in the London Open with the sweep and the continuation, and it keeps going higher and higher and higher, there is the potential of it coming all the way up here, wicking, or even respecting this area, sweeping this buy side liquidity and coming down, and that's very close to your stop. And it'd be nice to wait for a nice setup, and you can get involved here, and you got way more risk reward. By the time it does 1 hour, you're already at where you're the awful entries are, you know. So yeah, I just thought I'd wanted to share that with you guys because I don't know how many people are watching, but whoever's watching this the whole way through, that is a money maker there. So happy days. Yeah, with gold as well. I actually didn't think this was a thing. Is I would have took it, but where is it? It's quite high in premium. We saw a reaction off this demand level here, and then I wanted like a nice change of character, a nice sweep of the lows, or a wick out to sweep some liquidity here, because I know gold likes to take some stop losses. So what I did is I set this paper trade. I wanted it to fail before entry, so I wanted to see the stop loss of this entry get taken, come up, and then I'll get back in on the re-entry. That would have been a nice setup considering where it is, what it's doing. I just like the manipulation there because I haven't seen any changes of character unless it's on the 15. Technically a 15 minute from a refined 4 hour, especially as it entered the extreme. You got some nice Asia sweep lows that came in at 2:30. So the end of New York, it swept perfectly into what you can see as a 1 hour demand here as well. So there's a nice 1 hour demand, a nice clean entry, but I did want it to sweep, but it didn't. So it is what it is. There is a nice 3 all the way up to 5R that you could have done, but you don't have to catch them all, but it's still valid. Still add it in, so that's the main thing. I'm not going to look at the DXY until the very end, but I'll look at AU, see what that's doing. Yeah, here is a trade. Also, yeah, obviously paper on this one. I took a punt with it because it's at the premium. There is this level which we were looking for last time, so any actual trade orders will come in here. Any 15-minute shift, sweep of liquidity, way up in premium, as I say, following the trend. But the reason for this entry was it was just following order flow. It was just a breaker structure, re-entry into the leg. As you can see, we got some buy side liquidity which is swept now. There's some fair value gap and the supply extreme refined within the 4 hour zone. So yeah, I'm not surprised it lost. I just thought I'd slap the paper trade on as I've been doing recently, and yeah, if I took it, it's -1R. Probably wouldn't have took that one, not gonna lie. It's not a very good setup. There was actually, before I move on, there was a nice 1 hour change of character, but the issue with this is it just kind of wicked this low here, and yeah, it seems like it swept the highs. There's a nice bit of discretion on it being a wick of the highs and a failure. So there was a nice tag entry here, and obviously it just continued up, which is completely fine. Wrong side of the market, but what can you do? It's one of them. See this next pair, we got GCAD. I just thought I'd show you my setups and what I'm looking for on GCAD. So here's created the new bit of liquidity. So we got some nice liquidity going on. As you can see, it's failing the lows here. There's some really nice sweeps. There is this potential sell, but at the same time, it is wicking the low for the 3rd time here. So that's on the daily. That's looking like a nice buy, to be honest with you. Anything from here, could literally slap it on right now. Here we go. See, it's wicked this area. It's failed to create a low. We can get